You and Tiger have obviously played in so many notable tournaments, had spectacular victories. Wanted to run through a few of the notable ones and just get your thoughts that come to mind. The first would be the 2008 U.S. Open. Tiger said about it, "My greatest ever championship, the best of the 14.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fascinating tournament. Tiger spent more time talking about that tournament. Since the announcement, when the USJ made the announcement that the US Open was going to be held at Torrey Pines, Tiger, every year that we went to Torrey Pines, and in the years between the tournaments, he would always talk about the US Open there. It was one tournament that he wanted to win more than any tournament that I'd caddied for him for. He would talk about, every hole, where the pin might be located, how this hole might play in the US Open. He just looked forward to that tournament. Obviously, preceding the event, when it got close to the time, he was in poor health condition with his knee. And the weekend prior, to the tournament starting, you would have given him, incredibly high odds of just making the cut. He was hitting it, incredibly bad. He was just, his knee and his leg were in poor shape and he just couldn't play. And he had trouble walking, let alone playing. And then, during the practice rounds, he just didn't play, like someone that was going to win the tournament. I always look back at that tournament, and majors are won. It's not the one who makes the greatest amount of good shots. It's the one who makes the least amount of bad shots. He made about 4 double bogeys that week. You just can't make that many double bogeys at a major championship. And, I guess sometimes, the word destiny, it played a big part that week. But, it was a special week for me as well because, I felt like, we had that long conversation on the 72nd hole about what club it was for that third shot. And he absolutely didn't agree with what I had to say. And it took some convincing for him to hit the shot that I thought that was required. And he did hit the shot, obviously, and it turned out obviously being the right shot. And, he made that putt to get into a playoff. So, I hold that tournament, probably as highly as any tournament, just like he does for that reason. But it was an incredible performance. He could hardly walk. He was limping around there, and hey, it was an incredible victory. The playoff on Monday with Rocco was incredibly fun, and just the whole week, it was incredible. It was an incredible effort of determination on his behalf, and to block out the pain that was involved. Obviously that was the last time he went and had that operation after that, and was out of the game for 6 months. He's playing with a broken leg. To put that pain behind him, and I knew the pain. Obviously he was getting treated before and immediately after he was playing each round, and I could see the pain that he was in. So, that was an all-time unbelievable effort.
Right, and as you said, after that, shuts it down for the season for the surgery. The 2006 British Open, Tiger collapses in your arms following winning the tournament. What was only 3 months following the passing of his father, Earl.
His father was very close, like any father is, but, any father is close to their son and mentor. But, Earl was his coach early on in his career. So, the bond there was very strong. But, at Hoylake, it was just an interesting week. We were going down the last hole. It was sort of an overcast, cloudy type of day. And all of a sudden, as we were walking down the hole, the sun just broke out. Out of nowhere. And I sort of said to him, that's upstairs there, mate. That's your dad looking down on you right there. The sun just broke through so that he can see from above and see what you've achieved here this week. And we walked down there, and he hadn't said much. He didn't allude to anything. It seemed to be business as usual, and then he just broke down on the green. It was a side of Tiger that no one had ever seen before, including myself, and it just showed how much his dad. Every dad means a lot, but it just showed that he's no different than anybody else, and a very special moment. I sort of, you know, he was over me, and I sort of, you know, you give each other a hug normally and you walk away, and as I sort of tried to walk away, he sort of grabbed me holder. You know, he was very emotional, and yeah, so yeah, that was a special win as well.